Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Dan's Place. So glad that you're here today. And we started a series earlier this week, in fact, yesterday, on valuing your values. And with that in mind, we would certainly like to continue along that same vein today. So, once again, welcome. Uh, as we go through and we talk about values, and today we'll be talking about forgiveness. If you like some of the comments, or you would like to make a comment, or you'd like to share, we would appreciate your support. So, having said that, let's jump right in. This is really on my heart and in my spirit right now. The absence of values. There really is. There's a deficiency of values and respect for other human beings in our world today. And I'm feeling an overwhelming sense of responsibility to do my part to talk about some things that are missing, that would make everyone's lives more meaningful and certainly more peaceful. May I begin by letting everyone know that I'm a person of faith, and if you're not, that's okay, not a problem at all. So my comments are reflective of my study and my personal desire to be the best representative that I can be of my faith. Not perfect, but just attempting to be faithful. So, what is forgiveness? Forgiveness is defined as a conscious, deliberate decision to release feelings of resentment or vengeance toward a person or a group who's harmed you, regardless of whether they actually deserve your forgiveness or not. Doesn't mean forgetting. Let's make that clear. Nor does it mean condoning or excusing anyone's offense. Ask anyone you meet if they've ever been hurt by another person physically or verbally, and you'll hear a resounding yes. Now, as how they handled the hurt, and when you ask about that, you're going to hear all kinds of different stories. Stories about resentment, revenge, depression, anger, sadness, but very few stories, if any, about forgiveness. You see, my question is, why would anyone want to hold on to the pain, especially if they don't have to? What's in our nature that harbors ill feelings or holds on to past pain? Scientific studies show that holding on to emotional pain will manifest itself physically in illness, and disease has been linked to our mental well being as well. If indeed we have the power to heal ourselves, as some medical professionals suggest, where do we start? That's a great question, isn't it? And it must start with the way we think. And it must begin with self forgiveness. You see, if you're unable to forgive yourself for wrongs you've done, then it's highly unlikely that you'll ever be able to forgive others, those that have hurt you. Now, this is how much deeper the subject can go, and I'm not going to dig into it today because time will not permit. I may have to come back tomorrow for part two of forgiveness. But here's the bottom line. Forgiveness is an intentional act of your will. Let me say it again. Forgiveness is an intentional act of your will. Some call it letting go. Others call it forgiving. Forgiving someone doesn't mean denying the other person's responsibility for hurting you. Forgiving someone isn't excusing the act. And forgiving is not an act of weakness, but rather an act of real strength. Forgiveness is a practice of creating compassion, empathy, kindness, and peace. You see, forgiveness begins with you. Holding on to pain and holding pain inside becomes the breeding ground for negative feelings. And then those negative feelings will come out and manifest through anger, resentment, and the desire to seek vengeance. Negative feelings also keep us from enjoying the present. Those feelings have a tendency to turn into depression and anxiety, and ultimately sabotaging those close relationships that we really hold dear. And then sequestering our present and our potential future in the darkness and the heartbreak of the past. Now, I'm not suggesting that we have forgotten or that we should forget, only that we cannot allow the past to keep us from living today and preparing us for our preferable future, whatever that may be. Not that, my friends, it's yet to be determined. That future is still out in the future of what we want and what we desire. Whatever you focus on expands and grows. Where your focus goes, energy flows. May I suggest that we feed our faith and starve our fears? Whatever you feed is destined to grow. Now, once again, I'm not suggesting that we will ever get rid of all those negative emotions. However, when you feed your fears, you get stuck, and stuck stinks. Yes, I said the word stinks. But what I am proposing is that we practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is about a personal commitment to change. Okay, not for you, but for me. I can't speak for you, but isn't it time that we begin moving away from the trap of being a victim and take a more proactive and positive stance on our individual well-being and become a victor rather than a victim? Shouldn't we begin moving toward our peaceful and enjoyable life? The one that we desire, the one that we really want. I admit, certain acts seem unforgivable. And just for a moment, please, place yourself in the other person's shoes. Consider how you would have reacted or how you would behave if that had happened to you. Then I encourage you to accept the fact that we are all human. And on occasion, we also have imperfections, right? Here it is. I hope you're ready for this. We are all perfectly imperfect. You heard me. We are all perfectly imperfect. With any decision to make a change, I recommend the use of journaling. It's an easy way to document and reflect on your private feelings, and this in turn will help us to begin to move toward the emotional health that is connected to forgiveness. Forgiveness is within you. It really is an inside job. So please be aware that there are no guarantees that it will change the offender or their future actions, and therefore it is important for us to know that forgiving someone may not give us the immediate outcome that we want or even desire. This is an internal practice. Forgiveness is an internal, inside job that will ultimately change us, and that in turn will then change our external world. And it's a personal practice and certainly not a means to change someone else. The old song used to say, "It's not my brother or my sister, but it's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer." May God bless you, and whatever you do, keep the fire burning. Until the next time, this is Dan Caldwell quoting from my favorite book that says, "Forgive, and you shall be forgiven." Have a great day.